Welcome to another Chef Knives to Go quick look product review. I'm Steve Gamache, and what we have is the Yahiko Ginsan hammered Gyuto 210mm knife. So the way these are made is they have 3-layer construction, the hardcore cutting edge steel, which you can pretty easily see a cladding line on these, is what's known as Ginsan or Ginsanko or Silver 3 or G3. It's a full stainless, fine-grained conventional stainless steel that takes a great edge and sharpens up really, really well. So it's easy to sharpen, and it's just a beautiful steel for kitchen knives. So it's really good stuff. The cladding is a soft stainless cladding that wraps around the top of the spine, and then they've got a lot of interesting things on the finish on these. So they've got kind of a regularly spaced hammered pattern, and there are also some very nicely done hand chiseled kanji on there. These are nicely finished, consistently well-crafted knives. This particular one is 165 grams or 5.8 ounces, and the dimensions and weights can vary a little bit from knife to knife. It is about 215 millimeters on the edge, or about 8.5 inches, and then, sorry, switch that over there, didn't see the light. It's about 8.5 inches on the edge. Overall length is about 365 millimeters or 14.4 inches. The spine thickness coming out, it's not super thick typically coming out of the handle, but this particular one's about 2.9 millimeters thick, about above the back of the heel here. And then about halfway down I measured it about 2 millimeters. And then it starts to taper just a little bit. There's a pretty decent distal taper to it actually. And then as the grind kicks in, and the grind's pretty generous, you can see where it kicks in way up here, down towards the edge. These get pretty thin at the tip, so performance is very good on these. And they're also thin at the edge, so very nicely crafted knives. You can see pretty thin back there at the edge. Let's see, blade height is about 50 millimeters or so, so generous height. You've got an octagonal ambidextrous walnut handle with a black packawood ferrule. This particular handle has some kind of red tones to it. Very interesting, nice looking handle. Fit and finish on these handles is usually quite good, and this one looks like it's sealed up nicely into the tang. Always take a close look there, and if you've got any gaps, seal that up with something, whatever your choice might be to keep any moisture from getting down in that handle. Circumference on this is about 74 millimeters, just under 3 inches, where the two materials meet. And you can see these have a nice gentle curve from the choil, the back of the blade, into the neck, and it's a great spot for a pinch grip. So these will pinch very, very nicely. Balance point is going to be with this handle. It's a little bit longer handle than the shorter knives. And you can see this handle brings that balance point back to right about there. So it's a little bit behind a pinch grip. So this has a slightly handle heavy kind of balance to it. The fit and finish on these is very well done. You can see a little bit of a polish to the overall blade from the reflection here. Let's see if we can get a good beauty shot for this guy. So you can see hand chiseled kanji, really well done. It is not as common these days, so it's nice when you do get that on a knife. And kind of a nishiji type pear skin type finish, and then they've got the hammer marks there, and then the grind, and you can see the cladding lines are really pretty where the metal changes from the soft stainless cladding to the hard stainless core, and then there's your cutting edge right there, that shiny part. And on the right side of the blade, as you'd be holding it, you can see they've got some embossed kanji there, and again, the very similar look to it. So nice fit and finish. They've relieved the corners of the spine and polished the spine. They've relieved the corners of the choil and polished the choil. So it's a very, very nicely finished and ready to roll. This one, I'll give it a 5 out of 10. The edge actually was a little uneven, kind of at the heel area. So this one is going to probably need to be sharpened out of the box. I'll probably put a note on this one. Mark can have those guys run over it with their stones. But anyway, these will take a super edge. It's pretty much as good as you can do on the stones. The better you are, the sharper you can get this thing. So what else here? Let's look at the cutting board profile. So here's what it looks like on the cutting board. This has a pretty versatile profile. They're not all going to be identical, but you can see this has a bit of a stop at the heel. So I've got you know, about maybe 30% of the blade is flattish back there. It kind of flows into a stop, so this will chop real nice towards the back. You've got kind of a midpoint tip as far as height goes, and so I can still dig in. I can get about right in there, so it's not going to be like super high on a rock unless you tweak the tip a little bit yourself during sharpening. But it'll rock really nicely on kind of medium-low stuff, push-pull cuts, glide cuts, little chopping at the back. So they've done a lot with this profile. So this is just easy to take care of package with nice performance, nice looks, good high quality, you know, craftsmanship. It's just a neat line of knives. So this is the Yahiko Ginsan Hammered Gyuto 210mm knife.